Hello, folks. Welcome to the Friday night edition of Earworms, where we pick an album, pick a band, pick an album, pick an artist, pick an album, and we go back and revisit it and see what happens. But tonight, we're kind of continuing in the same vein as last week. Last week, we were doing the Yes album from 1971, and we're continuing with Fragile by Yes, which was also 1971. After a bit of a lineup change, and we're going to talk about that because that's pretty quick. Two albums in 1 year. But anyway, I'm going to need some folks here to help me out with that. First and foremost, one guy that does not want you to go to hell. Please welcome Mike Mountain Hawk Gorley, guitarist, guitarist, dombraist, hand percussionist, all sorts of things. Here he is. Oh, yeah, and flautist. Hello, Mike. How are you doing?
Flautist and sitarist and who knows, all kinds of things.
All right. Yeah. Well, you're a builder as well, and that's cool beans. Well, speaking of builders,
Yes,
we're about to introduce Liza
premier
Sahito.
builder.
Liza Sahito from the Psyche Electroacoustic Opera Company, and my wife as well. But tonight she's going to be serving as someone who has not heard the songs on this album before. She's just getting exposed to Yes, but has not heard this album. So she's going to be our experiment this evening. So let's welcome Liza aboard. All right, let's put this in a slightly different mode here. Let's see how this looks. Oh, there we go. A little bit more
yes,
spacious.
very nice. Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, so we
Yes.
were just rehearsing this afternoon.
Yes.
Liza performs with a guitarist named Pete. Does
Yep.
he have a last? I'm sure he has a last name, but that he uses
Litton. Pete
Litton.
Litton.
Pete Litton
Yes.
from our area, and we're preparing for that gig coming up in February. Is it
February 7th.
Yeah,
Yep.
7th. That's the Friday. It's a whole weekend there in Bradenton, Florida. It's a cigar box guitar festival organized by Steve Harvey, right?
Yes, correct.
All right, and yeah, we're getting ready for it because we're going to be performing a half-hour set, and
Cool.
Liza's leading the way with her colleague Pete Litton, and me.
And me.
Yes, and I'm glad to have you on the set. I think the addition of the electronic wind instrument is really gonna make things interesting. I heard an echo of myself.
No, I was looking at the chat and I thought I had it muted.
Oops, it happened.
Are you saying the chat bled through?
What?
Oh my goodness! You're
We
going to
have
blame Eraserhead for that?
Yeah.
Wait, Eraserhead. You see what
Yeah,
they're
welcome
doing
back,
to you?
Eraserhead.
Oh my
Yes.
god.
Eraserhead's here.
Yes.
Fragile.
Yay.
Fragile. Yes, fragile.
Fragile. Yes.
All right, so let's get into it. We were doing the Yes album last week. I don't think we've finished every single track, but was there anything more that you wanted to cover there? or should we just go right into Fragile?
Oh man.
I could bring them up. They're both here.
Well,
Oh, we'll just see if there's any old business to attend to before we go on to
I
Fragile.
think we did. Well, I was trying to think of I've seen All Good People if we talked about Steve Howe's instrument, but I believe that's where we kind of left off. We were talking about that. So,
Oh, yeah. Well, now remember, it's called Clap, not The Clap, but someone needs to tell Jon Anderon in the intro to that
yeah.
song. He announced it as The Clap. I've seen All Good People. We're right here. Yes,
I
it
think,
is.
yeah, I mean, I'm good with moving on. I know.
I just called it up. Now you're ready to move on.
Well, I said I'm good with it. We can talk about it.
All right, good. We're good with it.
All right, good. So
we're good with everything. I've seen All Good People. Now this is interesting. That's why I brought up the chessboard and chess pieces here, because it does allude to not the game of chess, but what we would call, like the life chess, decisions between good and evil, the black and white squares, players manipulating the characters on the board. And, in many ways, there's an analogy between us being on the board and having certain limited moves in any given situation, navigating life, and then also some people trying to play us from above the board. And, I don't know if you wanted to go in on any of that, or if you just wanted to talk about Steve Howe's instrument in there, because I didn't list that. So that's probably good info as well.
Are we talking about the new album?
No, I am going to put up, I should put up a link to Fragile, should I not?
Oh, what I mean is Fragile. Are we jumping into Fragile, or are we talking about the one from last week? This is
still the Yes album. I'm sorry, but I will have both links going up so people can listen to things while we are discussing them. And we will hear Liza's feedback about because she's still new to Yes. She was listening to the Yes album last week. I think your favorite was actually Steve Howe's.
It was the folk piece, yes.
Yeah. Because she does like her rustic guitar work.
I do. I definitely do.
So let's put up, here's a link to the Yes album on, what do we call it? YouTube Music, because there you can pretty much hear these things without hearing commercials if you're on your computer. And so it's easy for us to just play things there and not have to hear ads. And so I'm pinning this also to the top. So at the top, as the chat moves forward, it's accessible. So let's have at it. Mike.
Yes.
Been talking too much here. What were you going to say about Steve Howe?
Well, yeah, we discussed it last week. The intro that he does on the thing by different names, Portuguese guitar. I don't even remember, but we looked it all up. But anyway, he plays a folk instrument, a lute type instrument for the intro to this. And I guess they didn't give him any credit for writing it, but nonetheless, the credits are Anderson and Squire on this one. Anderson, it's a two-parter. It's Your Move and then All Good People.
Right.
And Squire wrote the All Good People, which doesn't really have a whole lot of lyrics. I've seen all good people turn their heads each day, so satisfied I'm on my way. And they repeat that over and ad infinitum. But anyway.
Well, it is an important point, I guess. The idea is like people, don't take a look around or things like that, and sometimes just get self-satisfied. I wouldn't even say that people get self-satisfied in the trap of routine. I think sometimes it's almost foisted upon us, and so
right,
and we get trapped in basically going about trying to make enough money to live, and it pretty much takes up most of our time. But But yeah, when you do have some free time, it's always good to think about things. And I think that's a general sense of what it's about. Um, but the whole
Hmm,
chessboard
interesting.
analogy, I think, is also important too, because there are forces at play that are really don't want us to think too much about stuff going on, and
Nope.
or they'll tell us the stuff going on, and the media says this is what you got to pay attention to, and it's like, all right,
Yep.
Interestingly enough,
well,
well, I was starting to say something, and I
oh, go
find it.
ahead, go ahead. Yeah, there's a delay. I'm sorry about that.
No, that's all right. I find it interesting how, yes, because this is, Vietnam was still going on, and this is has undercurrents of a, as they call it, a spiritual anti-war song,
Mm-hmm.
um, using chess as a metaphor. So they don't come right out. It's not, like some of the anti-war songs of the day. It just has this underlying tone, and even throws a little John Lennon, with the karma in there, referring to Instant Karma by John Lennon. But I
Yeah.
think it's
Ooh.
interesting because a
A
lot of people wouldn't even notice. It's a very subtle kind of thing.
contemplative reader has an interesting comment. He
Yes.
says they should have given Lennon a songwriting credit too, with the "give peace a chance" line, but Lennon didn't need the money, I suppose.
No,
Well,
right.
I
Good
don't
point.
think that you can do something like that where you just use those words, give peace a chance, doesn't really take it from you, especially unless it like totally locks into the melody. And then you have the thing where it could be a quote. Like if you're quoting another piece of music, it doesn't mean you're taking from it or anything. It's,
Eraserhead, he says Lennon was too busy stealing music from Zappa.
oh, jeez. Well, I guess it just goes on and on and on.
Oh, that's
I
funny.
Oh,
wouldn't be surprised. It's prevalent in the
yeah,
industry.
I have not heard that, but yeah, I wouldn't be surprised. All these bands were borrowing from each other if you think about it, because at this time there was just stuff going on, and a lot of people borrowed from the King Crimson album, In the Court of the Crimson King, which we did a couple weeks ago,
Right.
1969. That is oftentimes known as the Rosetta Stone for alternative, I mean, not alternative, prog rock.
Yeah, Eraserhead, it wouldn't surprise me at all, considering that, I don't know, I've learned some stuff about John Lennon that I don't like. I'll
Oh,
Yeah,
he
leave
I
it
was
mean,
there.
far from perfect. And they
Yeah,
all were, and even George Harrison, who portrayed, a lot of the spiritual guy. I guess since he's passed, his last wife that he had said, that he was kind of in and out of that. He'd be kind of doing the spiritual thing, and then he kind of, next thing you know, he's out having an affair or something. So.
mm,
And Lennon was famous for that as well, and he had his heroin addiction and all that shit. So yeah, I mean,
mm-hmm.
anyone who thinks, oh, they were nice, clean cut boys. Not
Oh,
even back
no.
in the day. They were
No,
over in Hamburg doing speed and
well,
getting drunk.
yeah, well, that's,
Lennon in particular, it wasn't just that he was messy. He was like he was a wife beater type of guy. Um, he was not a great character, and somebody told me that, again, this is hearsay. His son came
no,
out
that
with
would be
some memoirs.
his first wife, right?
No,
Oh, Yoko even?
yeah.
Oh, wow.
Again, hearsay from somebody who knows more than me, who follows the industry.
Well, there
Um,
was a
Okay.
big book that was controversial years ago, and I'm sure some of it, it's hard to say. But was he perfect? Hell no.
No.
He
Well,
was
that's
far, but
definitely,
when at the time that he got shot, it, he had supposedly he had cleaned up from the drugs. He had gone back. He was making an effort to be an actual father and
Yeah.
be, a father and a husband. There was a period of time where, he was not. He was pretty much being a scumbag. So he was.
Who is the head of the Beatles? What is it? Paul McCartney. I
Well,
heard
there
that.
wasn't one clear head, and that probably was why there was also some controversies. But
I heard
Paul
that.
and John were considered kind of like the leads because of the amount of writing they did.
Right. I heard that McCartney kind of was there for John Lennon's son and for.
Well, that's what Hey Jude is all about.
Oh, I
Julian
didn't know that.
Lennon. Yeah, Julian
I
Lennon,
didn't know
the
that.
first son.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Julian got the shaft.
Yeah, and that was pretty much admitted by John, too, that he didn't.
Julian. Well, when he died, she didn't give anything to Julian.
Ooh, good. Eraserhead, as a mod, is able to share a link. There's a Zappa interview to be researched later. I'm going to.
Well, in any case,
open that up and pause it.
It's always been my opinion, don't. It's dangerous to have heroes, even musical ones, because I certainly don't want to prop up somebody. Problematic people are problematic people, but then there's like the industry does bring in a lot of abusive people, and we need to hold artists at the same standard we hold everybody else. I mean, if you're going to lose your job because you were found to be, what?
Yeah, definitely the domestic stuff, the DV is the thing that's more important there to me, because I don't see drug addictions as necessarily a morally bad thing. It's something where people need
exactly help. If you're an adult should be able to make decisions about their own body however they want. If they want to take this, they can take that, so long as they're not hurting anybody else. But in when it comes to abuse, that cannot be swept under the rug, and that's not just problematic. That's like, okay, I'm scratching you off of my list of interests kind of thing.
Hey, Kevin Kraft.
Kevin M. Kraft.
Oh, I'm going to say something in a minute about our dear friend Kevin Kraft.
That's a good old saying there, Kevin.
but I wanted to point out some fun fact from a contemplative reader right there. Something that you might be interested in knowing, Mike.
Yeah, I did not know they were supposed to tour with Lennon. I knew Tony Levin played with, obviously, King Crimson and Anderson, Bruford, Wakeman, Howe.
Yeah, those were kind of later than those are later things, but to be around
big time.
John Lennon was still alive. I didn't know Tony Levin went back that far, although it just totally makes sense.
Yeah.
Well, he wasn't. Well, what was it? 81 was when he joined.
That's
King
what
Crimson.
he says right here. 81.
Yeah, 81.
I was in kindergarten. I wouldn't have been able to do much.
Yeah.
Kevin, I agree with that. But I'm not just talking about, everyone's imperfect. Everyone has something wrong with them. But in as far as violence, that's where I draw the line. And that's not that to me is not a category of imperfectness. That's a category to me, like, you should be in jail and away from society kind of thing. That's just me.
Yeah.
That's just me.
Well, definitely.
That's where I draw the line. That's where I make the distinction between being imperfect and like, nah, I'm not going to follow your work. I think you're a scumbag. Yeah.
So, Beans, would you like to take a listen to A Venture? And tell us
and
what you
A
think
Venture. Okay. Do you have the link?
Yes, it's pinned to the top of the chat.
Okay. I see it.
The rest of you folks, you can listen to the album.
So what are you guys
while
gonna do
listening to
while I
us.
listen to this?
We're gonna banter. We're
You're
gonna
gonna
engage
banter?
in
Going to
some
banter.
delightful
You guys know how to do
banter.
that? Bantering?
I think
Well,
we've
this is
been.
about recluses.
I think he's just trying to get back on to yes,
living the life,
which would
of
be a
recluse.
good thing because you got B-sides at 9, and I got a lesson with Gabriel at 9. So
Oh, very
Ooh,
good.
interesting things coming up. Cool.
yeah.
All right,
yeah.
I'll take a listen, guys. You guys go ahead.
Yes, Mike does study with Gabriel Marin of Consider the Source. If anybody's heard of that band, if you haven't, you should check them out.
Yeah, we've been trying to get together the last couple weeks, and
Well,
but anyway,
yeah, he's in demand. But
he's getting ready to go to Turkey again. So yes, but anyway, yes.
Back to them. Yeah,
Back to them.
So a venture, basically looks at the life of a recluse, but not in a completely romantic manner, because it discusses the damage of pursuing solitude too much, to too much of a degree. You need some time to yourself now and again, but if you're completely away from people all the time, it can really be damaging to yourself. And he makes allusions to that, like being drunk on the river. So
Hey, you sent me a link to the album you guys covered last week.
that's what we're still on.
Okay, which track am I supposed to be looking
Venture.
at? A Venture. Okay.
Sorry, I was pulling up the lyrics because this one I'm not like off the top of my head.
It's not one of the, shall we say, the landmark pieces of the
No,
album.
it's
definitely.
and the interesting thing is, it's I believe this is the only one. I'm not sure they ever did it live. I had to look that up. I know it wasn't on Yes Songs, and I've never heard him play it live.
Well, let's see here. I think, well, at that time, you would think they would need to, wouldn't they? Unless they were just having really short sets, because this was when Howe just joined the band, and probably they weren't going to be playing too much from before that. Not that Steve Howe couldn't play some of their things before, but they would probably not want to, because it was not the direction they wanted to go. This was their prog rock album, saying this is what we're going to do now. And you would think they would need all the tracks they could get, but they do have a lineup that can do a lot of solos, as we see with the next album with Fragile, as well as, extended jams live. They could easily do a lot of that. And it just depends on what kind of shows you're doing. Maybe at this point, they're just doing 1 or 2 hour shows and they can stretch things out. I don't know.
Well, they didn't start playing it. Well, it said it was not common in their classic era, but it became part of their regular in 2013 tour. So, like,
that was a bit of
a lot of years later.
Yeah,
2013.
Well, I'm listening right now, and it's pretty cool tune.
Yeah, I like it. It's not one of my favorites.
I know, it's just got that bass line, boom, boom, boom.
Yeah, it's a little bit different. Yeah.
Yeah.
And maybe that's, I don't know, maybe it didn't sound good live. They might have tried to play it and they said, this ain't working. And then, in 2013, they revamped it. Who knows?
Okay.
All right. So anyway, it sounds like you're going to add that to our set, Liza?
Oh, yeah, sure. Yeah, those changing meters and,
Well,
we're going to be
meters
great at that. Yeah. No.
But as far as Yes is concerned, those are pretty light.
Actually, this one's pretty. I like this one. Yeah.
All right. There we go. And then we're finally going to, we got a thumbs up from Liza, so that's good.
Yeah.
Yes.
So let's check out the next one here. We're going to be finishing now the Yes album and moving on to Fragile,
Yes.
which had
Change.
some lineup changes. Well, one in particular. Now we have here Perpetual Change. Liza, you might as well load that one up
Okay.
and see if see the kind of vibe you get from Perpetual Change. Obviously, fairly clear meaning there.
Yeah. Yeah.
Change is something that continues to happen. It's a part of nature, and this is nature versus technology, however. Maybe it's questioning some of the changes happening here. We know that Jon Anderon, at least, maybe some other members, but Jon Anderon is more from the rural areas of the fine country known as the United Kingdom of Great Britain and Northern Ireland, and grew up working on a farm and stuff like that. And later he does talk about city life in the upcoming album that we're going to do, Fragile, one of the songs there.
Interesting. I look forward to hearing his take on city life.
But there's more to just that. There's also moon landing is mentioned in this piece versus the environment. Maybe it's one of those things questioning, well, yeah, we're going to the moon and landing on that. Maybe we should put that much effort into making sure the planet we're on is okay. And I am definitely in support of taking care of the planet we're on, although there's some avenues that goes that are dubious and seem to be, not as advertised, but there are many things like, let's not dirty things up. Let's keep our water clean from stuff, especially if it's something easy to do. Don't litter.
Right.
Recycle. All good stuff. Take care of the forests. And now that we're using less and less paper, that's good.
That's good. Next step, let's start a government program to help people move into homesteads and sustain the land.
I don't think the government is going to be a great outlet for doing that.
Oh, come on now. If you really want to help the environment, that would be the perfect government program. Everyone has 5 acres they have to take care of. They have to make sustainable food on it. And it has to be, this new type of farming, the sustainable farming. I forget what it's called, permaculture. It's got, train people, give them a piece of land, and then you'll have a cleaner environment. We will have a more sustainable society. We'll have we'll eradicate poverty. How about that, people? How about that? I don't know. It's an idea. Well, if the government really wanted to solve poverty, that's what they would do, but they're not going to do it.
Well, there we go. I'll let Liza
Hallelujah.
be the arbiter of that and make her case. Yeah, but I mean, basically, on one side of the spectrum, they want smart cities. On the other side of the spectrum, they want truth cities, and they end up being the same.
Oh, I'm sorry. I forgot, folks. I forgot that I had a scheduled phone call with a fellow CBG builder. I will be back in just a minute. I'm sorry. I will be back. I will be back.
Well, Mike.
That's it. I'm out of here.
No, Mike. That's when I need you, my man. So, I don't know. What do you think about the song?
Oh, Perpetual Change?
Yeah.
I like it, and it's got, Jon Anderon, a lot of his lyrics kind of have spiritual undertones as well, without being, big and blatant or pushing anything, if you will. If I'm making sense there, but yeah, if you read it, I love his lyrics. I think he's brilliant, and his voice. So,
yeah, I mean, it's definitely a well-composed tune. I'm hearing the form changing from section to section, about when it should. Got some good melodies. It's and some good changes of pace in it. I think in both of these albums, the last track has been, one of those special tracks. It's like you want to end on something strong, and they did on both of these albums. With this one, and then trying to remember the name here on Fragile. I'm loading up the program right now. Let's see here. But I remember that one being a real good piece. Track 9 on Fragile is Heart of the Sunrise.
Oh, yeah. Which, it's a great song. Again, if you remember from last week, I heard Yes songs first. And after hearing the live version of Heart of the Sunrise, I was personally somewhat disappointed with the Fragile version. It just didn't have, it just didn't have that kick to it that the live version does. But it's a great song.
Yeah. But yeah,
and again, the lyrics, are brilliant. Jon Anderson's brilliant. Steve Howe's guitar playing. The whole thing. So,
yeah, definitely. And Perpetual Change here on this album that we're finishing up now. I'm listening to the part now where it's like two different bands going at the same time, two different rhythm sections at least, creating these kind of like collage polyrhythms and everything. That obviously, I don't know if they did live. That's an interesting question for Gemini right now.
Live?
Perpetual Change?
Oh,
because you have the two different, the rhythm sections are doing two different things. It's like they recorded that in layers, obviously.
Oh, Perpetual Change is on Yes Songs. The only one not on Yes Songs was Adventure.
How did they navigate that part where, the band's basically playing? It's almost like there's two different record. And you're not doing that now? All right. Well, I can ask our good friend. Whenever we on Earworms do not know, we ask Gemini.
Unlike like Genesis, you had Chester Thompson. They added a second drummer. Yes didn't do that. Now, sometimes Jon Anderson would do some percussion stuff.
Yeah. Well, I know he could do that, but it literally sounds like, it's literally two recordings of their rhythm section playing different, and not necessarily, they do interlace, but they're panned apart. So it even sounds like, the band recording themselves twice, doing two different things.
I'd have to listen to Yes Songs, but I'd say they didn't do it because they didn't have a second drummer.
Yeah, it says the band used a studio trick on the album. It's impossible to replicate manually. Yes. All right. So I guess live, they just kind of took the important elements from these two different parts and just smushed them together. But it wasn't true to the album because you couldn't.
Right.
All right. Well, that answers that question. So now let us bring up Fragile or Fragile, as some are wont to call it. There we go. And I'm going to drop the link in the description here. Let's take out this one and put in that one. There we go. The first Roger Dean cover.
Yes, it is the first Roger Dean cover. That is correct.
Mm-hmm.
The first of many.
Oh, yeah.
Because Roger Dean was a badass artist.
Yeah, who wouldn't want his artwork? Oh,
I don't know where he got his ideas from, man. Whether he was, doing mushrooms or what the hell, but
Well,
he is a unique artist for sure.
Wasn't everybody?
Back then,
yeah.
possibly.
Not that it's all that unpopular now either. Let's see here. There's Fragile. And I am pinning it to the top of the chat. There we go, folks. There's the link to Fragile on YouTube Music. And please open in a separate window or tab. And we'll get some of Liza's feedback in a bit. But now that I have it up there, it starts with Roundabout, the hit single.
Yeah, which is funny because, we were talking about Heart of the Sunrise. That would be my favorite song from the album. Roundabout is one of my, it's a good song, but it's one of those where it's like Stairway to Heaven with Zeppelin. I don't think it's one of their greatest songs. Is it good? Yeah. Is it overplayed? Yeah. And, but it helped them at this time in their career because it was a hit.
Well, that was that whole process then, because you basically selected a couple of songs that would be the radio releases, and you tried to start with the one, and usually your creative producer, and sometimes even maybe the executive has some input on it, but they're just like saying, okay, what's going to catch the most ears? Yeah. Who's gonna, which song is gonna prick up the most ears? And yes, it might be obvious. It's the one that would fit during radio time slots. Although at that time, a lot of radio stations would stretch out a bit more, longer songs and stuff because.
Yeah, they did a radio, or the producer did a radio edit of it because on the album it's 8 minutes and 29 seconds.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Which is still too long, but they did a radio edit of it. So yeah, other than that, there really are no other than some short songs that are mostly the solo stuff. Heart of the Sunrise is the longest song.
So I get to use the picture from last week again. It's still 1971, but this one's more accurate because now it has Rick Wakeman in it.
Rick Wakeman,
instead of Tony Kaye. So in 1 year, they have one album release, drop a keyboard, bring up another one, and then release another album the same year. Kind of rushed. Now, for those of you who are wondering what the hell's on the screen, I do from time to time use for my backgrounds.
Oh my God.
Some AI image generation. So I hope nobody's truly offended by that or completely put off wondering why there's so many members in the band.
None of them look like members of the band. But anyway, getting back to the band, Tony Kaye actually started out the recording sessions with them going into Fragile. They wanted him to do some other keyboards. He was pretty stuck on the Hammond organ for the most part, and they wanted to venture out into some other things, and he pretty much did not want to. So they basically axed him. And I think it was the producer that suggested Rick Wakeman, who was a very well-known studio musician at the time. And looks like we lost Lawrence. But anyway, I'll just babble on till he gets back. I think he played in a band called the Straubs, I believe. He was playing in a band, but he was a well-known studio musician as well. And he had other keyboards like the Moog, Mini Moog. And that thus began their venture into the world of synthesizers. I can talk. And there's Lawrence coming back.
Hello. I was
all right. Well, I just babbled on about Wakeman for a few moments. So
I heard you slip away, and I was like, "Oh, what happened to Mike?" And I'm talking here and everything like but it was
No, I was
me.
talking.
I
I
was
just kept
the one
talking.
that wasn't here.
Yeah.
But it looked like I was, so I thought you weren't. I'm just like,
No,
whatever.
I kept babbling about Rick Wakeman to fill in the time slot
Well,
there.
that's yeah, and so that's interesting. Yeah, what I read was that Tony Kaye wasn't having a good time trying to fit with Steve Howe.
Well, that was the other factor.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, there were multiple things, but they wanted him to expand his keyboard horizons. But yeah, he
Yeah.
also had creative differences with Steve Howe. Well, it's interesting. They note that I was reading up on the recording sessions, and Rick Wakeman, there he goes again. But or no, it's Bill Bruford. You know, uh,
Me
thought the band
getting
was
dropped is
yeah.
getting
You
old
keep
here.
getting dropped. Well, there's a discrepancy on who named the album, whether it was the producer or Bill Bruford made a comment about the band was fragile at that time
Oh yeah.
because they argued incessantly. And Wakeman even wondered after joining the band and coming into these recording sessions, whether this was going to, continue because he noted that they argued a lot.
Yeah, and he kind of came in under like I guess a special contract to start. First of all, he had another label to that point, ASM,
Yes.
and he had some restrictions on him in this album where he could not write, and that's why Cans and Brahms is actually Brahms, and
Mm-hmm.
it's arranged by Wakeman because he couldn't
Right.
write on the album. He actually did. I mean, obviously had keyboard parts to create and stuff, so he did, but they would not list him in the credits for that. But anyway, I mean, but he got a regular contract starting the album afterwards. But this one, he basically is being paid like a session musician, which also then for them got expensive because
Right.
he's paid by the hour, and apparently they needed to buy some of the keyboards. So I guess he was willing to play some synthesizers and stuff, but maybe he didn't have all the ones at least that they were thinking of or the producers were thinking of.
Right.
Because I read that was one of the reasons why the album was kind of rushed, and they also had a number of solo songs on it. Not
Right.
100% solo, but let's just call them features. Like Bill Bruford had a feature, Chris Squire had a feature,
Oh
Steve
yeah, they all
Howe,
did.
Wakeman, they all did. Even Jon Anderon had a vocal
Mm-hmm.
loop feature. And, on some of them you have a little drums added to it or stuff like that, but it was largely features, which basically made the writing process quicker.
Mm-hmm.
Each musician could write something for themselves.
That's true.
Yep. So here's our new lineup. Tony Kaye gone, Rick Wakeman there. And basically, yes, it was in a bit of a rush, kind of. And one of the reasons I was wondering, why were they in a rush? Well, they actually needed to make some money. The Yes album was like the album that turned their careers around because it was not doing well until that album. And then I guess it was like, okay, good turnaround, but now if you're going to make up for, what was
Right.
going on before, you need to start, making sure this is another success. And let's have it go now, because actually back then you could make money by releasing albums and tracks and
Yes.
stuff. Not as much anymore.
Right. You toured to sell the albums.
Catchy Groove is a mention here from Kevin M. Kraft. Yes, I guess he's not the one in talks with Liza right now. Oh, somebody loves Roundabout. Yeah, that's also Kevin.
Well, I
Yeah.
didn't say I hated it. I said it's not one of my favorites.
Yes.
It's a great song.
Well, Yes, and it is definitely. I love the beginning, just this reverse
Yeah,
piano
the
chord sound, and then the bling, and then the decision by Steve
harmonics.
Howe that he's going to, do a lead part on acoustic when typically it'd be on electric, whether clean or distorted. Folks, I guess I could flash up some of your chats right now. Yes.
Well, Howe was incessantly changing guitars from the very beginning.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, maybe not every song, but yeah, if you go see Yes in concert with Steve Howe, there are going to be a lot of guitar changes. Sometimes in the middle of the songs.
Yeah. Well, in
So,
this one, it would be necessary too, because he does electric later, but he starts off acoustic. You got a full rhythm section there, and hear that bass line, the roaring Rickenbacker bass from Chris Squire.
oh God, yeah,
And then Steve Howe's just there like blue, with the acoustic blue.
yeah. Live, he usually had a like a stand that would hold the acoustic.
Yeah.
So he'd have his electric on, and then he'd play the acoustic,
Yeah, and this
which
Rick
works out really
Wakeman's
good.
keyboards coming up. But of course, Jon Anderson's vocals are holding it down there. All right. So I guess actually, if Liza were listening to this, she would probably recognize it and say, "Yeah, I've heard this before."
Yeah, it would be the most recognizable Yes song.
Mm-hmm. Let me check our time. How we doing? 7:48. So we're in good time. Tonight, after this stream, I do have a redirect, a raid in place for folks to join our friends at B-Sides, at B-Roll Stage. They're streaming, as they often want to do, some B movie that's in the public domain, and they'll be riffing on it. But anyway, I'm hearing all the carnival of Wakeman around me here. It's beautiful. But yeah, that
Oh,
would have been a big difference because Tony Kaye was pretty much married to the Hammond B3.
yeah, pretty much at that time. Yeah.
Although here I'm hearing some organ too.
Well,
But
Wakeman
he
played
did
a
other
Hammond
things as
too.
well. Yeah, but other things. He had like a Moog sitting on top of that Hammond.
Well,
Now,
yeah, if you see him live, I mean, he's basically, surrounded by keyboards.
also, one other lineup change. I think this is the first album, or was he? No, I think the Yes album may have had him too. I don't remember. Brian Lane, their new manager. I know they had a manager from before called Roy Flynn, who actually got a song dedicated to him on this album coming up. When did Brian Lane begin managing Yes? But yeah, Roy Flynn. I'll leave it till we get to that song.
Yeah, there you go.
Brian Lane began managing Yes in 1970. So yes, the Yes album was also a Brian Lane album. It looks like Brian Lane was there to help with the whole let's go to prog rock thing and a little less pop rock. Okay, so I'm still hearing Roundabout cranking away here. This would have been an interesting radio edit to have to do.
Oh, Roundabout? Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
because
Man, it's been forever since I heard it, so I really
it's got an
can't
interesting
comment.
B section there. I mean, it certainly sounds like still the same song, but it's a big shifting gears there.
Oh,
Trying to
yeah,
find
yeah,
out how
yeah.
to edit that down. Must have been some serious decision making. All right. So, shall we go on to cans and Brahms?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. All right.
I didn't know you were waiting on me to say yes. Then I heard the
Oh,
gap.
I wasn't even on Roundabout yet with my slides.
No, you weren't. But
Oh, yeah. We might as well say this before we move on. Yes, because I didn't know this. I mean, maybe it's because you could basically listen to Jon Anderson's lyrics and take them all sorts of different directions, because of the mystical qualities of them and stuff. But on this, it is about a transit van trip that he and Steve took in the Scottish Highlands, from, what was it, Aberdeen to Glasgow, but then eventually back down to London. And the whole thing took about 24 hours, but the lyrics are primarily from their time in the Scottish Highlands, where they were partaking of some herb while doing so, and admiring. I mean, yeah, it must be like living. Even though Lord of the Rings was filmed in New Zealand, it was like it must have felt like that in the Scottish Highlands with the mountains and the rocky beaches and everything like that. It must have been feeling like you're in a fantasy novel.
Are you saying they smoked marijuana?
Well, apparently they did. It was written
in the 70s.
Yeah, it seems that way.
My only question is, did they inhale?
Well, if you're going to do something, you might as well do it right. Cans and Brahms. And we have two AI depictions of Johannes Brahms there. Brahms had 4 symphonies, and the 4th one was one that Rick Wakeman decided to take some inspiration from. He basically arranged the 3rd movement, or at least the theme, from Brahms' 4th symphony, and he did it in layers, which is where... Now, I mean, typically when you're in a studio, you're recording with headphones, which... The slang term for that is cans. You got your cans on and stuff. And so typically you are using them. So I don't know how it was so special here, but he just thought he threw it in the title because, he's listening to all the parts he was doing previously on the cans and recording new parts. And so there's like electric piano in there, organ and different synthesizers. And basically he used different sounds for each of the parts, the strings, the brass, and so forth. And there you go. That's what that was. And but it was only about a minute 38, I think. So it's really short.
Yeah, it's very short.
Not as short as Bruford's feature. In some of these, I'm like,
no.
Yeah, you guys were in a hurry, right?
Yeah, 35 seconds.
Yeah, no, this is 1 minute 43. Cans
I
and
said
Brahms.
Bruford's was 35 seconds.
Yeah, I know. Oh, and we have an interesting bit of information for that. Its original title.
No, Cans and Brahms was 1 minute 34. Jon Anderson's We Have Heaven, which is the next one, was 1 minute 38. So it's 4 seconds longer than Wakeman.
Yeah, I remember 1 minute 38 from somewhere, but now that I'm queuing it up, it's saying Cans and Brahms is 143. Whatever. Oh man.
Well, yeah.
And then 140 for We Have I mean, these guys were like, all right.
Are you saying
we've got these 8-minute songs, like 2 or 3 of them or whatever, and it's like, all right, we need to round out the rest of the album a little bit. I'll jam on this for a minute.
But then Steve Howe got almost 3 minutes.
Oh, yeah. Well, that probably once again was something he was playing to be, before that. Just like Clap was something that he came into the band already knowing it's a song he wrote and had, and he was able to use it. And same thing here, but that's what happens. But I guess you can do that when your band members are already accomplished songwriters and performers and can write some great features for themselves. Or in this case, arrange some Brahms.
There you go.
But there we go. I mean, and I guess it's something that, hey, great, we can use that live too, because every now, you want to have some solo features for band members, and then probably live they'd extend them. So, all right, we have Heaven is coming up next, but before that, we do have a video here.
Yeah, I was gonna say, don't skip the Wakeman video.
Yes, I think you've seen this before, Mike, but
I have, but it's a good video.
Yeah, and I think our
Wakeman
audience...
the way he plays, you wouldn't think it, but he's off the charts.
Yeah, and what I'm going to do here...
He's funny as shit.
Is shit that funny? All right, let's...
It can be very funny.
No, he is a cool guy. And I'm not taking sides in any of their arguments that came later, but he seems like a cool guy. And and this is an interesting story here about him and his first mini Moog. My God, what is it about that word mini that makes me want to say Moog instead of Moog when I know better? But anyway, we're going to see a story this is during a kind of reunion thing where it was basically some musicians that were gathering together to celebrate, I guess, some sort of anniversary of Moog and Bob Moog. And it took me this long just to load it up, folks. So that's why. Yeah, so that's why I'm doing this whole setup here. All right, now, media, MP4, let's go for it. Rick Wakeman.
My first encounters with Bob came after, didn't they? It came after I actually discovered the Moog.
Green screen.
There was a studio in England called Advision Studios, and a guy called Mike Vickers had bought one of the big modular systems. And he couldn't afford to pay for it. So what he did, he left it in the studio because he knew that when keyboard players came in and saw it, they'd go, "Oh, great, can we have a go?" And then the guy there was...
I'm going to have to do that differently, folks. And... it looks like I am getting that when I try to do things a certain way, but fortunately there's another way of doing it. So I am going to try and do that. If I can click on things properly. See you. Share. Yeah, the thing is, when I try to just share the video file, it doesn't like to do it, and I forgot about that. But when I share the screen of a browser tab and share it that way, then it seems to work. Oh, I could even share the Frank Zappa interview that Eraserhead shared with us. But no, let's go with Rick because we already set it up. All right. All right, here we go. We're about to check this out. Now, obviously, other musicians here basically gathered for honoring Bob Moog.
My first encounters with Bob came after, didn't they? It came after I actually discovered the Moog. There was a studio in England called Advision Studios, and a guy called Mike Vickers had bought one of the big modular systems. And he couldn't afford to pay for it. So what he did, he left it in the studio because he knew that when keyboard players came in and saw it, they'd go, "Oh, great, can we have a go?" And then the guy there would say, "Yeah, but it's going to cost you $50 to have a go on it." And that was how, we made a lot of money. And we used it a lot, and it was fantastic. And then I discovered the Mini Moog. I don't know whether you know the very first story of how I bought my first Mini Moog.
How was that?
Well, the manager that we had at the time, it was a bit of a villain. He said, "I've got an actor." He said, "Who works for me?" And I'll tell you, an actor called Jack Wilde. He played, I can't remember what he was in Summit anyway. And he bought a Mini Moog. And Brian said he wants to sell it. I said, "Oh yeah," and he said he'll do you a really good deal because it doesn't work. And I said, what do you mean it doesn't work? He said, it doesn't work. He said, you'll do you a really, really good deal, like half price what he paid for it. And I said, all right. Okay, well, I'll have a look at it. And there wasn't anybody who fixed them or anything there. So it arrived, and it was mint. It was all in all the original, because they used to come in the original, like plastic, all the big, thick foil and things. And I took it out, and I plugged it in, expecting smoke or something, and it all lit up right. And put the headphones in, put them on. And it was like never been played. It was absolutely perfect. It was absolutely fantastic. Yeah. This is not a joke, but it's absolutely true. So I thought, well, I better be honest here. And I left it on soak all night, still fantastic. And I phoned up Brian, the manager, and I said, look, I've got this minimum. There's absolutely nothing wrong with it. He said, well, I don't understand. He said, I'll get the guy on the phone. So he got the actor on the phone, and I spoke to him, and he said, listen, I've got to tell you, there's absolutely nothing wrong with it. He said, no, he said, I've tried it a lot. He said, I can only get it to play one note at a time. Yeah. And I said, it's monophonic, it only plays one note at a time. He said, well, that's no good to me. He said, oh, you can have it. So I bought it for half price, and that was the first one. And then I went out, and over the course of the next 2 years, I bought another 8. So I ended up.
You see, you needed more than one note at a time.
Oh, they were. That's right. But they were fantastic.
There we go. So I actually did a little checking while we were watching that, and yes, this was in 1971. For when he joined the band is actually when he got his Mini Moog, and so I guess they were able to save some money. I mean, some of the expenses they were worried about at the time, at least they saved some money on the Mini Moog by getting a monophonic one.
Yeah, there you go.
They were pretty much monophonic to begin with. Oh, and then polyphonic analog synthesizers were really expensive when they did come out and everything. So, yeah.
Well, I think he made a little more money a few years later to buy upgrades.
Yeah. Well, and also these, like he said, he got like 8 of them eventually. So,
Eventually, yes.
Yeah, and actually you could use that polyphonically then. And, because it's like maybe you have one controller keyboard for multiple synthesizers, sending your CV pitch and gate, and then using other devices to basically create the polyphony for you. Okay, so anyway, we are going to move on from this, I believe. It's just a minute 45 feature, or minute 38, whatever amount of time it was. We certainly gave it a lot of airtime here. Now, I am trying to go to the next track. Oh, it looks like it did. Sorry, I don't know why, but my screen's highlighting strangely. All right, can you find another thing to go wrong, StreamYard? Hold on.
Probably.
What is this? Yeah, what is this? It has some... Oh, I see. It has an overlay of something on top. And it shouldn't be there because I don't have any other thing here.
Uh-huh.
All right, let's do this. Can I move forward? Or backwards in the slides? Okay, there, backwards. Yeah, something is sitting on top of my playback controls. All right. And now, is the slide overlapping with our avatars to the side? Or
No.
am I just zoomed in too much? Okay,
No.
I'm zoomed in too much. All right, what do we have
We're off
here?
to the side
Oh, it
where
says,
we should be.
jot down a script in notes to use during the live stream. I don't want to. Thank you.
Okay.
I think I minimized it. Yeah, you guys are probably, I mean, everyone's going nuts probably because they don't see what I'm seeing right now, but I'm seeing, hold on, remove from stage. And am I still on stage? Yes. but it didn't remove it from stage. The hell is going on? Oh, StreamYard is going nuts for me. Now, it still has this notes stuff right on top. Oh, there we go. That's at the side. Okay. And it's still there. All right. I think I can proceed anyway. Boy, please. Yeah.
Well, I
The
hope
rest
so.
of the stream's going to be all this. Okay. All right. I have the slide up there, but because StreamYard thinks I want to jot down some notes to run scripts, it has that up right in front of my face. So, yeah. Remove from stage. Does it? No, it still insists on putting the notes up there. I'm sorry. So
What do you
let's just go ahead.
Okay.
Basically, I can't see my own slide because something else is on top of it.
Oh, well, it's
But-
about a polar expedition gone wrong.
Yes, I remember that.
Storm is a
piece.
storm, shelter, storm.
Yes, that is the form of the piece. The one we're talking about here is south side of the sky. And yeah, it's about a polar expedition, really. And people being in the frigid cold. Starts with a blizzard, storm. Then there's some shelter in the middle of the piece. And then storm once again to end it off. It does not end happily. I don't know, Mike. Do you have anything to say about this piece of music?
No, it's not. It's not a super happy song. They did play it initially, for a year or two, and then it disappeared for a long time. And I was trying to think of when they brought it back. It was like 2-3 decades later, kind of like a venture. But they did play it live initially.
Yeah. Well, I'm sure they had to, and it was definitely one of their progressive ones. 7:59, almost 8 minutes here.
Yeah.
So this is one of the longer ones. It's like you got your 8 minutes, and then you got your minute and a half songs, and it's like no in between. But that's good. I mean, it depends on what the piece is and what length it wants to be.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, it's not one that has, the catchy materials. It's not like a roundabout, so doesn't have the catchy stuff. But the middle section I do like a lot. I like Shelter, I guess. Kind of atmospheric, trippy. Great piano playing by Rick Wakeman in the center section.
Yeah, I was curious as to what prompted him to write this song. So I was looking it up, and according to Jon Anderon, the inspiration came from an article that claims sleep is death's little sister. And the lyrics expanded on the idea that death could be beautiful. That's very Jon Anderon. So despite it being kind of a gloomy song, it's kind of saying that, talking about the transition, I guess, into the next world. And very Jon Anderon-like.
Well, now I'm not saying that, Jon Anderon doesn't really subscribe to organized religion, but he is deeply spiritual.
No, he's kind of new agey.
Deeply spiritual, but
very much.
I mean, basically, even if you're thinking of it as new agey and stuff, you still have to have some sort of strength of faith.
Yeah,
some sort of
well, I'm not saying he
to really
was new
feel
age,
that way.
but he did do some solo stuff that was in the new age genre.
Carlos Castaneda was an
I think he
influence
was
on
very.
Toltec.
I think he was, just from what I've seen in his lyrics. Yeah, I think he was kind of like I am, kind of subscribed to bits and pieces of a lot of things.
Yeah,
and especially Earth. Like the Native American type stuff. Yeah, very earth grounded kind of guy. Definitely.
Yeah, and also Tales from Topographic Oceans was based on some
Oh, Hindu.
Buddhist beliefs.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Buddhist,
Hindu
Hindu.
and
Yeah,
Buddhist beliefs.
yeah. I think
And
he was like me. He was a guy interested in just exploring what's out there.
but to see some sort of beauty in death, you definitely have to have some sort of convictions about what's happening afterwards. You
Well,
know.
yeah, absolutely. Well, yeah. I mean, I kind of feel that way. And it was interesting. I watched a documentary a while back. Uh, Timothy Leary, tune in, drop out, the LSD kingpin. Uh, he died of cancer, and it was him and Ron Doss, who
Yeah.
later died himself. But basically, talking about how he said death should be a celebration of life. People, it's all gloomy, and yeah, I kind of hate the whole funeral process and the gloom and all
Mm-hmm.
that stuff. It's like, if your life was that gloomy, then just put them in the ground. I went to a funeral like that one time, and it's like, yeah, the guy was a total scumbag. My wife wanted to go to support his wife, who was
Yeah.
actually divorced from him. But anyway, yeah. So it's all in your take on things.
Yeah, and I think what is really important is as we are, aging more and more and everything, and passing from natural causes because of advanced age, there definitely should be more of a concerted effort to make sure people have company, togetherness, and maybe a brighter outlook on the whole passing experience, at least for the sake of the person going through it. You know. And so,
Right.
well, anyway, I don't know. We got here somehow on a polar expedition, but we can go deep on earworms. We can. We can indeed. All right, Mike. So once again, I still have this thing from StreamYard saying jot down a script in notes to use during the live stream
So you
right on
can't read
top of my
this?
slide. Yeah, I can't quite see my slides.
Okay. Well, that's okay. Yeah, I was going to mention, and you got it in your notes, so good job. But yeah, he originally titled Suddenly It's Wednesday. He renamed it as a way to protest Roy Flynn's original deal with them as their first manager. He gets 5% of their royalties forever.
Yes.
It took
That's what,
until 1974 to buy Flynn out through settlement.
yep.
And there is an audio interview clip. So
An audio interview clip.
it says, yeah.
That is, that I put there as like an option if we're
Yeah,
feeling it.
want to listen to. Well, I think people want to listen to an audio interview clip.
All right. Well, I'll start setting that up, and meanwhile, we can discuss this. I mean, it's a Bill Bruford feature. Although when you hear it, you're wondering exactly who's being featured. But yeah, so the drums are really the feature there, and it's it's half a minute, folks. So it's like, all
Yeah.
right.
Yeah, just over.
What are you gonna do live? I mean, I guess they'd probably extend it live. It's just this is all they needed right
Or
now.
didn't do it at all. I don't think I'm sure he may have done a drum solo, but
Yeah. And I do list there, right, that it was originally called Suddenly It's Wednesday.
yeah, that
Yep.
was a cool title too. But 5% of nothing, especially knowing the story. I thought I saw somewhere for how much they bought him out for, but I don't see it. For some reason, I'm thinking it was like 10,000, which was probably a lot of money back then. But
And that would have been 74. So yeah, I guess so. I mean, the thing is, there's usually no reprieve from contracts like that where it's like called in perpetuity. That means you get
yeah,
5%. Now, this is of their royalties. Um, there are a number of things called royalties in the music industry, or at least back then when contracts are far different with recordings today because
Well, a lot of
the fact
bands
that
got
the
screwed
recordings
back
don't
in the
really
old
make-
days.
Yeah, but back then you could make money on recordings. And the thing is, royalties, there were mechanicals for writers, and then there was performing royalties as well for just playing on the album. So it didn't define which of which, but maybe it was both. Who knows? But yeah, usually that was something that a lot of managers did, and a lot got away with it. And an artist would
Record
then
companies
have
too.
Oh yeah.
I mean, think about it. You're some band playing in a bar. You're a bunch of, potheads, and you're
Mm-hmm.
some guy comes up and says, I'm going to make you guys stars. Here's your drugs, and next thing you know, you're signing contracts and without having a lawyer look at it. And you're getting, the record company's getting, 90% of everything. And you're getting a small cut.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
I'm not saying that happened to every band, but it happened to
thing.
some bands, and I don't know exactly how much, but a lot of them got screwed.
Yeah. Well, that's one thing. This is a different approach where it's basically saying I get 5% of, this case, royalties, could have been both types, forever.
Forever.
Right. You're no longer working with me, whatever, as long as I'm still alive. And you guys.
I think that was royalties from what they were doing now and future. So,
yeah,
I get a cut of your band even if you fire me tomorrow. It's like, wow, okay.
Yeah, and that's why bands a lot of times would have to change names. Depends on the writing in the contract. Maybe it's with the individual members and stuff. So you got to be really careful with those. But I think it's something where, legally speaking, maybe some courts were starting to decide, all right, we're going to have to crack down on this to a certain degree. They have a certain amount of leeway. And probably that's what happened. And it just comes about as a settlement, where it's like, okay, we'll do a lump sum now and you guys are out of it because this guy does deserve something, because without him, you wouldn't have had a start and be in the position you're in now to begin with.
Look how many songwriters don't own the rights to their own songs. John Fogerty fought for years and wouldn't play any CCR songs, on his solo tours because he didn't own the rights to his own songs. And Paul McCartney, tried to buy the Beatles songs, and Michael Jackson screwed him over on that one. But anyway, moving along. So do we have an audio interview clip?
I am just clicking it now. I don't know why. Oh, it's from something called the Doug Randall Show. Now, this no longer exists.
I might not have seen this one.
It is nothing to see. This is audio. Now,
audio.
Do you see it? Did it come up?
I see, the audio thing.
There we go. Yeah, there's nothing to see here, folks.
Well, I see a cursor. I see.
Yeah. All right. Here we go. Enjoy the playback button.
3 of yes here, which is kind of like I guess. We have Jon Anderon and Steve Howe and Bill Bruford. Jon is the vocalist, and you do a little percussion, it says.
Yeah.
It's hard to tell from listening to the records exactly who does what, And none of us have ever seen you because you've never been here before. You understand that?
The hot tambourine.
It's not great audio quality. It's mostly just for a little bit of fun. We'll see how long I can bear playing it, but some Doug Randall show in the States, and they were about to play in Wildwood, I think New Jersey. It's the only Wildwood I know of, the next day, and whatever. And so for them, a British band, they are just breaking into the United States now with, the Yes album and then Fragile. And so it's a whole new market for them, and, trying to establish themselves in both countries now.
Hot tambourine, is that what you do? Steve Howe on electric and acoustic guitars, Vacalia and vocal, and Bill Bruford on drums and other.
Vacalia, that's the word. That's the instrument.
Well, that's what I said last week, and everybody went, no, that's
Well, maybe Steve Howe was high. and maybe Steve Howe's wrong.
maybe, yeah, who knows? Because I tried to Google it, and it came up with all kinds of stuff, but not that.
Well, maybe that's her name, Vicalia.
Other assorted percussions. Well, let me see. How about if John comes up here? John and Bill are from the beginning of the group, right? I guess, John, you're sort of like the leader. Are you
well, there was
step right up to the microphone.
me and Chris, the bass player. We sort of formed a band late in '69. Was it '69? Yes. Late in '69 it was. Yeah. Hello.
They sound, stoned out of their minds, but that was a good thing back then.
And Bill was with us then. We were like a three-piece. And then we got Tony Kaye, the organist, about 6 months later. And we finally arrived with Steve Howe about a year ago.
Right. There was another guitarist on your first album, right?
That's Peter Banks.
Right.
Yeah. He freaked out a bit. I don't know where he's
That was a long time ago. Ancient history.
Yeah. Somebody just called me just a couple of months ago and said, hey, whatever happened to it? They said, yeah, did you notice that Yes changed guitarists on this new, because the new album is very new still.
I think it's the most famous thing we ever did, actually.
You changed guitarists.
Yeah.
And that actually sounds like Rick Wakeman there saying that.
Yeah.
It's like, that's one of the most famous things we did. And it's like, you're the new one, actually. You just came in.
Well, Wakeman had
He's having fun
with sense of humor. Yeah.
Yeah, he's having fun with them because obviously this Doug Randall is still talking about the other new member who by that point in the year wasn't that new.
Right.
But it's still 1971 all this happened. So anyway, here we go. We'll finish this up quick.
Yeah, in Luton.
And Peter Banks just kind of disappeared.
Peter was a very good guitarist, but we didn't seem to get on with him too well. And we seemed to lose contact with him musically and finally mentally, if you like. Mm-hmm. So we decided to get a new guitarist, and we were very lucky to find Mr. Steve Howe.
Where did you find him? He was just wandering around the streets?
He was running around, bumming around. He wasn't doing anything.
Were you in another group?
Yeah, I've been in bands for a long time, but I was out of it. He was on the table with the speakeasy.
What is that noise?
It's me rustling my bass drum.
I couldn't hear. I could hear it in my headphones, and I couldn't see.
You've got a whole bracket of popcorn.
There's a review in the new Rolling Stone, which we just picked up, about your album, and it's a good review.
I didn't read it yet.
Well, I think it's a pretty good review.
Bill's been hugging.
And they said one of the things about your band that makes it so distinctive is your falsetto vocals, or your high pitched vocals. And they said that they're glad that somebody didn't try to force you to sound like everybody else by putting in low voice vocals and things like that. I guess, John, you take credit, I guess, for that.
I don't know. I listen a lot to Beach Boys and Fifth Dimension. You get vibrations from all that kind of.
Beach Boys are really.
Yeah, Frankie Valli. Come on.
Yeah, man.
There's a lot of high pitch. Andy Gibb. There's a lot of high pitch vocal stuff going on. Maybe a little less in the rock and roll, but I think it's also the unique quality of his voice that kind of makes it special. But anyway, folks, you could actually search for that on YouTube, but you'll find it with some other stuff as video.
Yeah, I actually think I have heard at least some of that interview, because when he said, and we found Mr. Steve Howe, I was like, oh, I've heard that before. But anyway,
they're not very common, the Yes interviews where they're joking around like that, because, well, first of all, it had to be back around this time when they're still having fun.
I don't know. One of my favorite Jon Anderon interviews was after they kind of got more popular after Yes songs and were playing arenas and stuff like that. They said the interviewer asked him, said, so you guys are playing the big arenas now, how's that different? And he goes, well, we don't sleep in our car anymore. I thought that was back when bands paid their dues. Like sleeping in cars and shit like that. But I found it interesting that Wakeman actually, initially, when they said they were going to tour the U.S. on this album, he didn't want to go. And I guess contemplated, and then he decided, well, I don't know, this band might take off, it might be a good thing. He went with them. So bye, Kevin. Hey man, thanks for the good comments tonight.
Yes. Thanks
and
for
we have
stopping
Adam
by,
Gray
Kevin.
and
folks.
Mr. X.
Oh,
Flavius.
Definitely. Yeah.
Yes.
I am sorry. Flav's here. Oh, now the gang's showing up. Yeah. Well, they're ready for B-sides. They're ready for Adam Gray and Barbara Lawrence to.
Yeah, but they know quality music,
Oh yeah, they do. I'm not selling us short. Just saying that. Yes, we in about a half hour we're going to be passing the torch on over to.
Yes, we are.
Adam Gray and Co. And thanks for stopping by, Kevin M. Craft, folks.
Yes, appreciate all the
comments. Look up that name, Kevin M. Craft with a K. And on YouTube and other places. He's been on Earworms before on the Sunday night. Cigar box guitar builder and performer and author of. Yes. In the books about Dobro. Basically, you can look up our old video or look up his websites. Check him out. He's a very good writer as well. And one of these days, we're going to have him on for his writing. We've already had him on for guitar work and so forth.
There you go.
And Flav is here. I think that means we can run this a little bit of something here for Flav. He's basically flung himself into our lives.
Then I shall. Jesus Christ!
Yes, sir. Flav is a channel member, so thanks for that, Flav. All right, Mike, once again, I still have this overlay on my screen from StreamYard asking me want to, make some notes and stuff, and I really don't know. I tried to remove it, but it removes everything, and so I can't.
That's fine. It was Long Distance Runaround was originally the B-side to Roundabout.
Mm-hmm.
It was a protest against organized religion, favoring dogma over the joy of spiritual connection. Catchy complexity.
Yeah, it was a protesting that aforementioned dogma over. Yeah, right. Well, I mean,
and very Jon Anderson like again.
Yeah, basically a very positive view in seeing the light, and I guess looking at because they're there, like the religions would say, especially in the Christian church, they do say yes, Jesus did rise on the third day, and yes, he is the Son of God. Yes, he is our Savior, and yes, they are called the Gospels, but they emphasize all the negativity and everything else stuff too, and it's like.
But once again,
he called the Gospels.
Yeah, but once again, he does it, in a more subtle way. It's not like hey, screw religion. It's not,
No.
Yeah, it's very underlying.
Yeah. Gospel does mean good news. And so it's like, but as we said before, Jon Anderson's views were broader than that, but it really is something. It's not like he was denying the existence of struggles or denying the need for choosing right paths over wrong paths. It was more like, I guess, you're more likely to embark on the right paths if you are motivated through encouragement as opposed to, eternal suffering. It's not a very motivating thing, but anyway, that's the Long Distance Runaround here, and I don't know. What do you think about the tune, Mr. Mike?
Oh yeah, I've always liked it. It's a good. I like the lyrics. I like the music, and it's traditionally the lead into Chris Squire's solo, which they did. They did do live. on Yes Songs, and I mean they continued to do it pretty much.
Yeah.
Most of the until Chris Squire died, of course, but
Yeah. Well, it is his
Fish, which became that was his nickname. He was the Fish.
Yes, and in
And
here
actually
it
his
is the
solo is
song.
almost as long as Steve Howe's that follows.
Yeah. Well, here it is. Long distance runaround is leading into the Fish. Am I on the Fish? Because I can't see whether
Not
I'm on
yet.
the Fish.
No.
All right, here we go.
There you
There's
go.
the Fish. And folks, that is a real scientific name for a fish that looks rather prehistoric. And I don't know. As always, I did not get a picture of that fish, but rather some random AI stuff.
No.
But
We have a
Shindaria
1 minute Chris Squire video.
primatura. Oh yes, we do have. You know how one of the interesting aspects of this album is that they're trying to make some money after the Yes album, which was a success, but it's starting to turn things around, and now they're interested in trying to make up, I guess, for lost time. Not necessarily trying to get rich, but as Mike says, get out of car living. And so at this point in time, they this album has a lot of tracks on it that are kind of short, some features and everything. And one of the reasons why they did that was, of course, live. They want to feature different members of the band. You have such great musicians, they should be doing features. I am trying to drag the video that I'm about to play into my browser so I can play it. And it's just, you bastard, you're not doing it.
Yeah, and they did. They did do those solos live. Steve Howe had his thing, and Rick Wakeman, Chris Squire did the Fish. A lot of times the drum would be a part of the Fish as well, as I recall.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, well, in this recording, though, the Fish has mostly Chris Squire. There are drums there, but you would think, oh, that sounds like Steve Howe, and it's like, no, it isn't. It's like higher pitched bass parts with wah wah and tremolo or other effects on it, and it's basically orchestrated Chris Squire plus drums, and that's basically it. It's one of those things where it's easy to think it's something else, but Chris Squire, a lot of times, I guess, doesn't get as much, even now that he's passed on, doesn't get much credit for how good of a bass player he was. But we are going to check out a video. I had to pull it up. Oh, it won't let me.
No, we got to see
the video.
The
is a bit too long. It's a 1 minute. It is a 1 minute video.
Oh.
Yeah, I've been trying to drop it into the browser. That's how I played the other thing. And when I do, it just doesn't do anything. All right, I know what I can do. I found this on YouTube. I'll play it from YouTube.
There you go.
Man, some people think streaming's easy, and it's not. It's easy to look like an ass while you're streaming.
I have never thought that.
Killing 1 minute.
I haven't.
Really?
Hell no, man. You're dealing with technology.
Oh, I know. No, I know you'd
all
haven't
had
thought that,
before.
but looking like an ass while streaming, maybe. Maybe. All right, there we go. I unmuted it. We'll just play it from YouTube, folks. How about that? There we go.
There we go.
So let's bring this up. Come on. Start menu. You bastard. All right. Share screen. Fragile. No, and it's not Earworms. That's us. It's not Frank Zappa. It's Chris Squire. Here we go. All right. So now this is Chris Squire killing 1 minute worth of time. We are talking about all these short features and stuff on the album. Obviously, he's somebody that knows how to get that extra minute in. And so, here we go.
I personally have been in the band for 2 years, since it was formed with me and Chris. If you look over there, you'll see Chris. Just move over there. That's Christopher.
Well, I expect you're wondering why we're here tonight, quite honestly. Well, the thing is, you see, my name is Chris Squire. Here's my driving licence, and to prove it, there it is. Christopher Russell Edward Squire, driving licence. Now, here we have a membership of my club, Speakeasy. On the back, it's got my initials, and also signed by Mr. Tony Howard. Here we have an English £5 note. Now, this is £5. Now, with this money, one can buy clothes, food, anything one really likes. Drink, even smoke cigarettes. And in here we have something else which I'd rather not show you at the moment. Have I spoken for a minute yet? No, maybe I haven't. Well, in that case, here is another English £5 note. This matches exactly the same with this one, except on the back. See, that one is different from this one. And here is the picture of the Queen. The Queen of England, as you can see her there, with a little 5 above her head. Now, really they're both the same. I think, must be up by now. What else have I got here? Why am I here? Anyway, why am I here anyway? But anyway, what I'd like to say is why, what for? Anyway, cheerio.
That was
He should have been on Monty Python.
That was killing 1 minute with Chris Squire.
And it was very Python-ish.
Yes, it was.
Oh, my God. That was hilarious.
You can also find that on YouTube. That's what I had to do to play it, folks. All right. So anyway, let us move onwards. Yeah, it's just search
Food
for Chris
for a
Squire.
day. Oh, my
killing 1 minute.
God. There's that lovely AI again.
Yeah.
And I can tell you, this was a new song written for this album.
Mm-hmm.
It was not part of something he had done before. It was
That's
a
very
new
good to
composition.
Oh, yeah. And a very beautiful one.
Yeah, I think Liza would have liked it if she was here.
I hear her. She is on the phone, so yeah. I guess it's really important. There's some big name cigar box guitar person who's not Kevin M. Kraft, who's not Mike Gorley, is on the phone with her right now. And perhaps
you got business coming up.
Perhaps, well, maybe they found a way that we can stop living in our car. I don't know. But but anyway, this is a beautiful song. Steve Howe on acoustic guitar. And it is actually, even though it is said that this is not really flamenco, it's got flamenco in it as a style, but the guitar he's playing on is a flamenco guitar. I think it said there a conde or something like that. I think I have it on the slide there, which I can't see because of the
I looked up,
overlays.
they called it Spanish guitar, but I guess that would be flamenco.
Flamenco. Flamenco.
Okay, Mr. Moog. I let that one slide. Even though when we did the thing on Robert Moog, I said Moog, and I got a lot of shit.
Okay.
So moving right along.
Okay. Well, anyway. But the guitar he used on here, like the specific brand, I thought I put here, but it looks like I may not have. But anyway.
Conde. Conde.
Yes, that's what I said. All right, very good. Yes, and that's the type of guitar he used there, which is a classical guitar, and it sounds like one. Wonderful. But he has influences like Chet Atkins and
Carlos Montoya and Mason Williams. Yeah, he solo on some of his solo gigs. He did classical gas, which is Mason Williams.
Oh yeah. I first encountered that tune when I was growing up because of the band Mannheim Steamroller, where they did a collab with Mason Williams. And good stuff. But anyway, that classical gas, that song. I mean, it's an instrumental, so, instrumentals don't tend to have as much, I guess, popularity as songs with lyrics, but that one is definitely one of the best instrumentals of the modern era.
It was quite popular.
Yep. Now, so there we have Mood for a Day from Steve Howe, also quite popular. And we're winding down. It looks like we're getting to Heart of the Sunrise.
Heart of the Sunrise.
Which, now this one, just like the previous album, the Yes album, where we're ending with kind of like a, no holds barred prog rock. Everything you expect from progressive rock is in this song. And that's what you have here with Heart of the Sunrise. Pretty much. Folks, yes, as usual, I should probably say this more often, but we do have pinned to the top of the chat the link to the album on YouTube Music so folks can check it out. You can listen to it while listening to us.
There you go. So it's about being lost or alienated by life in the city. The sun is the symbol of breaking out of the concrete walls. And Rick Wakeman was not credited for his writing due to ASM contract. We said
yes, but he did write his parts for it, obviously. But they had to pretend like he didn't,
Right, and it was mapped out in an afternoon. You say?
Yeah, this and one of the major songs, which was not mentioned at least in that paragraph, like what the other song was, but this one and one of the other like 8-minute songs on the album was written in one afternoon or mapped out, because I guess that's a way to say it. Believe it or not, like, for example, Jon Anderon does not read and write music, as, on staves, like treble clef and bass clef staves. He does not do that. I'm sure he knows chord names and things, but yeah, so they would map out form, like basically what ideas would come next, which is a good idea to know. And so, and yeah, I think that, that's a great way of doing things, especially when you have these musicians. Well, they know their parts, because they're kind of playing them. They know their ideas and maybe come up with a name for the idea and everything. And so they, they know what they're going to do when this part comes up, and then they just integrate with each other and they hear each other. But it is one of those things that I think it gives you also a lot of freedom when maybe things aren't clearly defined, or shall we say it's known that you're going to be in this meter, you're going to have this idea, the bass is going to do this, and then the guitar is like, oh yeah, usually when they do that I'll do this, and just kind of riff on it and stuff. And so that might be a way where you balance freedom plus enough organization that your song does sound like it when it comes up.
Yeah.
The tribute was very moving. All right.
And this song is a great example of something I talked about last week, how they did 2 sets of lyrics at the ending of this song. Anderson is singing "Tell the Moon Dog, Tell the March Hare," and Squire and Howe are doing, he is clear, he is here. They're in between. So they're singing 2 different things at the same time and pulling it off beautifully, which kind of became a trademark thing for them, in later albums. But I think it started here.
Yeah, like Jon Anderon chanting one thing and then the other vocalist doing some other chants, and then the rhythmic interplay from those chants. Yeah, I'm listening to it right now. Just got to that.
Yeah.
Well, actually, just before that, in the middle section here.
Yeah, Chris Squire was very excellent backing vocalist.
Yeah, and then Steve Howe as well. And I don't know. I was able to do background vocals, but obviously I couldn't play at the same time because I was playing saxophone. But
you couldn't sing and play the sax at the same time.
Not quite.
What's wrong with you?
But I'm still impressed by those who are able to even do that with guitar. I mean, because you got to pay attention to the rhythm of what you're doing with your hands.
Oh yeah, some guys can play lead stuff and sing. It's incredible, and some guys can't. B.B. King didn't.
No,
you ever watch B.B. King? He had another guy that played with him for a lot of years. And
he would play hooks basically in between his verses.
Yeah.
And so
forth. He did his little lead riffs, his B.B. King thing. And I mean, he was great, but he himself said, I can't sing and play at the same time.
Yep.
That's probably the most famous example I can think of off the top of my head. But so you got Chris Squire and Steve Howe playing pretty intricate stuff and singing backing vocals and harmonizing with Jon Anderon at that.
Yeah, I'm typing into the chat. I probably can't even play maracas and get the same time.
Well, I could play chords on the guitar and sing at the same time. I couldn't do anything intricate.
Yeah. Well, that's tough for me. I'd probably end up just strumming one and then sing and then strum one on the next beat and then the next.
Especially when you're playing and you listen to Yes music. Mm-hmm. It's not like folk music or something where they're just kind of they're not just playing chords and singing. They're playing more intricate stuff, especially bass.
Do I hear Liza back?
Yes. Adam Gray is here. Guys, I'm
here a little bit ago.
Now I have the cat scratching on the window. I will be back. I'm sorry, guys.
Goodness.
Hold on.
All right. Well, she's here at the end. I guess what we'll do is ask her to listen to the last tune and give us her unadulterated opinion on it. We are about 11, almost 10 minutes away from B-sides, so we'll be winding things down. Oh, man. Yeah, it looks like the timing's working out pretty well here. We've finished this album. We could even start thinking about, well, she's not even going to get anywhere into this song in that amount of time and be able to give us some feedback. So I think we'll ask her.
She'll want to listen to Mood for a Day later.
Yeah, let's ask her to do that.
But I believe we already have the next couple of episodes mapped out, if I remember right.
Oh yeah, we're going to do The Lamb Lies Down on Broadway next time. I know Istophobos isn't so he isn't into some portion of the story. So the whole idea is, I think we don't even have to like everything about it necessarily. We'll still do it because it was a legendary album, and
it is.
And some of the story looks very interesting. Some of it a bit bizarre. We'll see. Oh, do we have our good friend?
There's Scott.
Yes, Scott Hovind.
Hello, Scott.
Yes, we are doing a bit of things like this on Friday now. We're going to pop you up because Liza is still coming back from the window. Yes, here we are, pre-B-sides warm-up. Let's see.
There you go.
I was going to... Yeah. I mean, Scott's here, folks. That is our chief mod. And Sunday nights, he holds the fort down.
Eat my shorts.
And it must be very cold up there in Minnesota right now because I'm in North Florida and it's below freezing right now as we speak. So, wow. How's it up there in Tennessee, Mike?
It is cold and gonna get colder. Actually, holy shit. No, that can't be right. It says it's 51. Well,
really?
but it's been windy as all get out today. But yeah, within the next couple days, it's supposed to drop way down. So today it's been really cold the last couple days.
Yes, it has been. And definitely
Freezing.
down here.
Woo.
There she is. All right, Liza, we have one mission for you since we're wrapping up now. We found what we think you would be your favorite song on this album. If you could click the pinned message at the top, you'll get a link to Fragile.
Okay.
On the top of the chat, there's a link to Fragile. Play Mood for a Day. We think this is the one that you'll like the most.
Mood for a Day?
Yeah.
I don't see it.
Well.
There's Roundabout, Cans, and Brahms. Yeah. We have...
Keep going.
Heaven. Da-da-da-da, da-da-da-da. Oh, okay. I missed that one. There we go. Let me...
It's there. There we go. Because we know you do like some good old acoustic.
We got a T-Mobile ad first.
Oh, you get ads?
Yeah.
I never get ads on YouTube Music or music.youtube.com when I use the Brave browser. Never get ads. Did you mute yourself? Okay, we get to listen to Liza listening to headphones. It's an earth-shattering experience. Am I still here?
I don't know. Are you?
I'm just checking because the last time, things go silent, it looks like I'm here, but I'm not. I'm the one that
I probably need to get going. I got to get my stuff ready for my lesson with Gabe here.
Okay, yes.
So, but thanks everybody. Good to see you at the end there, Scott. And I will.
Yes, Scott. This Sunday we're finishing up the tournament of sci-fi themes.
Oh, are we?
Yep.
Yay!
Okay.
Cool.
All right. I wasn't sure if you were going back to something else.
All right. We'll crown our champion, and champion.
Good.
Who knows who to be?
I will see you all Sunday night then.
All righty.
All right. Good night,
Thanks,
everybody.
Mike.
Good night, Mike.
All right, lady.
Nice track. Nice track.
I thought you would enjoy it.
Yes.
So now we have about 8:54 p.m. We have 6 minutes until our friends at B-Sides will be taking over. And this will auto redirect, folks. We have set up a raid. So you can sit right where you're at. But until then, what are you thinking, Liza? Should we talk about what's coming up in February?
Yes.
All right. Sounds good.
Yes.
So go ahead and tell the folks about our trip.
Well, folks, Lawrence and I and our mutual friend Pete, our bandmate, incredible guitarist, we have been invited to go perform at the Bradenton, Florida Cigar Box Guitar Festival. And we plan to somewhat vlog our experience. So stay tuned. We shall be performing on Saturday, February 7th, but we'll be there the day. I think the event runs for 3 days. So I think we will be able to videotape our experience on the 6th and the 7th, and share what we discover with you guys.
Yeah, I think, are we going to be streaming from the event, or will we be uploading videos later?
Scott, that is a good question. Scott is asking the same question. I don't know. Live streaming on the go on mobile devices is a precarious thing. If we find that our internet connection isn't so great, or there are some, I don't know, some
We could
limitations
try it.
to
I think
doing
that's what
things
we'll do.
live.
We'll try it, especially since we're going there on a Friday. I could
Yes.
try doing, I mean, here's the thing. You don't necessarily want to do it from your hotel room. I could take a laptop somewhere and maybe be somewhere at the event or something. And
Well, we
see if
want
I
to
can
be
do it
able
that way.
to walk around and meet vendors
Oh, yeah. But that
and
could also
other
be done
performers.
vlogging style, where
Yes,
basically we record the video and maybe even upload it from there a
from
few
the
minutes
hotel.
after.
Yeah, for
Yeah.
sure. I think that that's what we might end up doing. That's the safest way to
Yeah.
go about it. And I think we do a better job documenting the event if we just take fixed video. We're not trying to stream, we're just taking good video, and then when we get back to the hotel, just upload everything onto YouTube. So we're kind of, it's not in real time, but we're still kind of taking you guys along with us. So I think
Yeah.
that would be the best approach.
Yeah. But then also people, I mean, who's going to wait around for us? So it's like, yeah, that way you can watch them anytime you want.
Right.
Yeah. But
Right. And of
it'll
course,
be
when
interesting because I haven't
yeah.
been uploading videos for a while, and the last one was kind of like a vlog opening the Flute Wizard's flute. Maybe, this is the kind of stuff I need to do where I'm not so worried about preparing all these things ahead of time, spending hours on it,
Right.
just there on the fly, doing stuff. And I think that would be a great way to kind of get going again and get my momentum going, because I want to do more things with this channel, some great things and stuff. We have some great members here like Scott and Flav,
Yes.
Stitch and so forth, so we want to keep
And we're
momentum going.
yeah, we're focusing on music again, both on YouTube and in our real life, and we want an excuse to keep doing that. And what a better way to have an excuse than to have the responsibility, as Molari says, is to share the experience with you guys. So it is part of our duty, as good Centauri.
There are 13 waiting at B-sides, and we have 1 minute to go. It's 8:59, folks. B-sides is about ready to go. It's episode 123.
Oh, dude, Lawrence, Scott says he would really appreciate a live stream. You know what? For Scott, we'll give it a try.
We'll give it a try.
We'll give it a try for Scott Hovitt, okay? All right.
All right. Yeah, we'll give it a try for Scott Hovitt. Well, let's try the Friday night around the 7 o'clock time. We start maybe a little later. I mean, Scott, leave a comment for me. Let me know what time slot's best for you for that. But yeah, with B-sides afterwards, I kind of think 7 o'clock would be great. 7 p.m. Eastern time. I know you're Central, so just add an hour or subtract an hour, whatever. Yeah, you add an hour. There we go.
Flav, go to bed. Oh, that is
all right.
late. Yeah.
Yes, we are going to wind down now because B-sides is ready to go. It's 9 o'clock, and they are doing Fire Maidens.
Ooh.
Oh, that sounds interesting. So we're going to check that out. Well, thank you, Liza. It was great with Mike, Liza. I mean, I'm enjoying these Friday nights. Next week is Genesis Lamb Lies Down on Broadway. Going to have fun with that. And I think these things will be gradually picking up more and more momentum. So anyway, here we go. Farewell, folks. Oh, no. So long, and thanks for all the fish. B-side.